Welcome, dear seeker. Take a quiet breath and allow yourself to enter a space of attentive presence. Today I invite you into a living treasury of spiritual knowledge, the multidimensional field of transmission contained within Light on the Path to Spiritual Perfection, book number 5. This book is not a linear teaching. It is a living archive of experience, insight, guidance, warning, and practice gathered from real spiritual work. It is like sitting among initiates, listening to conversations, teachings, questions, discoveries, and realizations born from lived transformation. It is not theory, it is lived spirituality in motion. The deeper purpose of this book is preparation. Preparation for real spiritual life, for responsible use of knowledge and power, and preparation for the complexity of inner transformation. Because the path is not only illumination, it is discipline, it is discernment, it is responsibility toward divine law. Spiritual development is not something to play with. It unfolds over years, lifetimes, and requires balance in all aspects of being. This book reminds the seeker of the seriousness and sacredness of the journey. One of the central themes running through this work is lawfulness. Everything unfolds within spiritual law. Healing requires permission from divine order. Action carries consequence. Energy has structure and quality. Silence protects power. Discernment guards truth. The initiate is not free to act arbitrarily, but is called to cooperate consciously with the divine intelligence. This recognition transforms spiritual practice into sacred responsibility. Another central transmission of this book is practical spiritual realism. The teachings do not float in abstraction, they address real life. How to work with wishes and manifestation. How thoughts move through planes into reality. How karma unfolds as cause and consequence. How to protect oneself energetically. How to recognize illusion in religious or spiritual interpretations. Spirituality becomes something precise, structured, functional. Not belief, but applied wisdom. The initiatory path revealed here is one of increasing maturity. At first, the seeker learns techniques. Then the seeker learns responsibility. Then the seeker learns discernment, and then silence. Eventually, the seeker learns to live in alignment with divine law in every thought, action, and intention. This is spiritual adulthood. A profound teaching in this book concerns the difference between outer appearance and inner truth. Many teachings in the world are exoteric, simplified, symbolic, misunderstood. The true initiate must look beyond surface meaning and seek direct experiential knowledge. Truth is not inherited. Truth is realized. This demand for discernment is one of the great thresholds on the path. Another important transmission concerns the nature of energy itself. Energy is not uniform. Personal energy carries individual vibration and limitation. Universal energy is pure and impersonal. Chakra energies carry specific functions and qualities. To work consciously with energy requires understanding its origin, structure, and effects. This is spiritual science. The book also reveals that spiritual development unfolds in an environment that is not always harmonious. There are challenges, there are distortions, there are opposing forces. Therefore, protection, balance, and awareness are necessary. The law of silence is not repression, it is protection of sacred experience. Power grows in silence, wisdom matures in silence, and transformation unfolds in silence. What inner experiences may arise through engagement with these teachings? You may feel a deepening sense of responsibility for your thoughts and actions. You may begin to perceive spiritual practice as something precise and lawful. You may experience increased clarity in distinguishing truth from appearance. You may feel greater respect for the sacredness of inner work, greater patience with the pace of transformation, greater stability in your spiritual orientation. Slowly, your relationship to the path becomes more grounded, more mature, and more real. Why are these teachings especially relevant today? Because modern spirituality often emphasizes experience without discipline, power without law, and inspiration without structure. This creates imbalance. This book restores realism. It teaches that awakening requires responsibility, discernment, and alignment with universal order. In an age of spiritual intensity, this grounding is essential. Who is this book for? For the seekers who want to move beyond fascination into maturity. For practitioners who wish to understand the laws governing transformation. For those ready to take responsibility for their spiritual development. And for those who sense that true knowledge must be lived, not merely admired. Ultimately, this book supports awakening, inner mastery, and conscious evolution by teaching how to live spiritually in a lawful universe. It integrates knowledge, practice, responsibility, and discernment. It prepares the human being to act as a conscious participant in divine creation. Not impulsively, not naively, but wisely, humbly, and lawfully. If something within you resonates, enter the book slowly, attentively, and with reverence. Allow its teachings to refine your understanding and stabilize your path. For deeper initiatory training, structured practice, and living transformation, you may continue through Four Mystics. And for those who feel called to sustained spiritual evolution within a living field of conscious development, the journey continues within Ordo Mysticus. You are welcome where sincerity becomes responsibility. May wisdom guide your steps. May silence protect your power. And may divine law illuminate your path. In love, light, and service, I am Ray del Sol.